After all this, you still...
I still want that gas, yes. And you had better deliver.
This is Greenhouse Gaslighting, a free and independent podcast discussing society and culture with a left-wing, down-to-earth perspective. If you've ever wanted a deep dive on the issues, but felt like the bar for entry was too high, then you're in the right place. God damn it. So, back in my day, okay, when you wanted to jack off, when you wanted to beat your meat like it owed you money, when you wanted to make the bald man cry, when you wanted to pay the water bill, I don't think that's the right slang.
Yeah,
You
I think
know,
that's crazy.
you know, you would just look it up, right? And I remember talking to a friend about that publicly, and he said, watching porn on the internet back in my day, we had to get on dial-up to load up JPEGs, and it would take at least an hour. Another old man overheard that conversation, walked up and said, dial-up, back in my day, you had to pull up Hustler magazine from your brother's bedroom. An even older man, the oldest man I've ever seen in my life, overheard the conversation and said, Hustler magazine? Back in my day, we had to squeeze our home butt cheeks and pretend they was boobies.
Thank God for technology.
Exactly. So welcome back to the Greenhouse, dear listeners. Are we back for good? Who's to say? But with that, honestly, with that cold opening, we should probably never come back on air.
No, we got to come back more, man. You got to. That was amazing.
Yeah, people need to know what the elders have said.
Right.
I think that was the Cyanide and Happiness comic I'm ripping off. I'm not sure.
I think it honestly might be.
Updated because now they're looking at AI titties. You know, it used to just be anime titties, but now the titties aren't even real.
So, are you familiar with that streamer Northern Lion?
No, I am not familiar with any streamer, unfortunately.
Okay, I'm not super familiar with him either, but he seems to be like one of those like sensible streamers who like rants and stuff. So he had this amazing rant where it was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you that you need to use AI to generate porn? What kind of fucked up shit do you need to look at that it doesn't exist already?
That's just weird to me. Like I feel like it just either a video or something drawn. Like what more? Like why do you need the AI like what are we doing? What are we doing?
The idea of using your imagination to write a prompt to see something that your imagination already showed you. Insane to me. Does not make any sense.
AI is like thinking for us. That's what it is. It's just another brain thinking for us so that we don't have to use ours. It's goofy.
That's kind of one of the things. That's one of the things about Dune that like I think is so appealing to people is that it's a sci-fi fantasy where AI and robots don't really exist. And by virtue of the way that world is set up, that society melds against the implementation of AI. So I think this is probably one of the things. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just saying. I still have not seen Dune. I know nothing about it. Every single time I hear Dune, I think of Muslim space adventure, and that's pretty much it.
Well, you're correct about that, and I don't like the new. I don't like the new movies for that reason because of when a French man directed it, and you know how they feel about that.
Sex perverts. Disgusting sex perverts.
Anti-Muslim sex perverts.
Sorry to our French listeners, but no, I mean the Villeneuve movies with Timothée Chalamet, they feel like they're trying to ape that Islam-inspired aesthetic of the novels, but like because it's French, they're almost trying to divorce it from that. And in a time when like we're talking about Palestinian resistance. And like it's so funny that like you can get people in the theater rooting for Timothée Chalamet calling for jihad, but then in the same breath decrying people for wanting to resist the press. So just my 2 cents on the Villeneuve movies. Just saying.
Literally these people are like understanding this, and then when someone's like, And we should get everyone who out of Africa, Europe, including France, they're like, wait a minute, my subsidized goods from Africa that were so cheap because it was a colony.
Think
What
about
about
the
them?
industries. Think about the markets. What are you saying? How are we gonna get these cheap, raw, how are we gonna extract value?
How am I
There's
going to get
something
my
to be said.
diamonds?
There's something to be said about a society that craves Dubai chocolate. You know what I'm
I've
saying? Like Dubai
I've never
chocolate is
had
the new fad. Yeah,
I
I mean,
don't
it's a thing
understand
that's
where that
already
came
existed. It's
like,
just
where did it come from?
pistachio
Like, why
chocolate.
I know, but it's like I remember just like minding my own business, and then I look up and everyone is talking about Dubai chocolate.
Sky,
Like
you
it's
want to explain? You want to explain
like
your dark origins?
it feels like from someone who doesn't have any social media, it feels astroturfed as fuck. Like it just feel like I just
No,
woke
you're
up and then
correct. You're correct.
everyone
Oh,
and their mom was just like,
honey.
we love Dubai chocolate now, and it's like, okay, all right, that's
Oh, you're hitting the nail on the head. So, um, it's alleged that Dubai chocolate used to mean a sexual position. In, use your imagination that rich billionaires used to do with Instagram models.
wait, I'm looking this up.
And then people learned that, and then they were like, "Oh no, it means this mid type of candy. It's not that." And then they had to put it everywhere so you can flood the fucking search results with, "Oh, Dubai chocolate's just this weird pistachio maybe chocolate thing." And there's not even, they'll just call anything Dubai chocolate. It's a lie. Everything's a lie.
But also, it's
Crazy.
pistachio and chocolate, and I know there's like that little fried noodle thing that makes it uniquely Dubai chocolate. But chocolate and pistachio has been around for years, guys. You guys, if anything, TikTok has kind of exposed how uniquely susceptible people are to marketing in a way that they already were. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. TikTok has
It's like,
shown that everybody's the sucker.
yeah, no one is immune from propaganda. You got to remember, there's like tons of like, there's an industry built around it for a reason, right? Like, it's like a specifically curated industry for how to manipulate and brainwash people. Like, it's insane.
Propaganda this, propaganda that. Hey, baby, why don't you get out the way and let me take a propaganda at your book collection? I'd like to see what you're reading.
Yeah. What black
Uh huh.
authors are we reading? Happy Black History Month.
Ooh.
So, again, this episode we will be talking about J. Cole's new album.
Yes, hell yeah. I
So,
saw a review. I saw a review of J. Cole's new album, and I know this is a slight tangent, but it was like J. Cole's new album is essentially it's essentially like it's not gonna change your opinion of J. Cole. Like if you love J. Cole, you're gonna love the album. If you don't love J. Cole, you're not gonna like the album. I am a J. Cole fan. I loved it. That's all I have to say.
I still have
All,
to sit down and listen to it. That's my problem.
all I'm going to say is that um, if you're biracial with a white mama,
Oh,
maybe you
okay.
should sit down for a while.
We don't have to talk about that. We don't have to talk about that. That's
Maybe you should sit down. Maybe you should let Zendaya take this one for y'all.
yeah,
She's
yeah,
beloved.
okay.
She'll do better for y'all than J. Cole, Drake, and any other one will ever do. Any NBA player.
You forgot wait,
With the
wait,
white mama.
you forgot the biracial rapper. You forgot Logic.
Oh my God, he is literally white. This nigga is fully white. I've
Fully
never seen
white.
more of a white man. I live in Michigan. There's white men everywhere. Logic is more white than the white men I see on a daily basis.
I feel like Logic is so annoying because he'll unironically be like, I'm biracial and also black power, but then also he'll turn around and be like, but I don't have white privilege, guys. I'm one of you. And it's like, brother, look at your skin color. Like if I got
Look
arrested and
at
he got
me.
arrested, who's gonna get treated worse? Like what are we talking about?
I mean, he will because he's Logic, but like not
I
because
mean,
I
he's
yeah,
just I
yeah,
just
black.
wish
sure.
Logic had the sense to be like, guys, I'm Algerian. Also,
I
don't
wish
like hear the
Logic
audio
would have did a
clicking in and out. Did they?
Macklemore.
Martin Logic did a Macklemore, yeah.
No, you're good,
A quick
babe.
sound check. No, okay. I think it's just my headphone jacks fucked up then, because like my audio was getting jacked up while I was adjusting my volume. But as long as you guys didn't have a problem, that means the listeners didn't have a problem. So we're good there.
Cool.
I'm still going to posit my theory that Mr. Morale is the detritus of the collab album Kendrick was supposed to do with J. Cole. I genuinely think that that was supposed to be the project. J. Cole dropped for whatever reason, and then Kendrick was like, "Shit, who can I get for a feature real quick?" Kodak Black, fuck it.
Black, yeah, bro.
Like, as
Yeah.
someone who hates J. Cole, I do not think Kodak Black was the one that you did
No, but I can
replacing
already
him.
see that it's like, oh, Kodak Black's the only one who's free right now. Okay.
Yeah, of course he was the only one that's
Unfortunately, he's
free.
free.
Nobody gives a fuck. That nigga's literally either in jail or completely free because no one's trying to fuck with him.
Yeah. In jail for heinous shit too. Not even like cool
Mhm.
shit. Heinous shit.
Literally, not he's not protesting ICE, folks. I can tell
Exactly.
you that.
So, I mean, that's actually this is not a good place to segue.
We're so off
But
topic.
let's probably try. I mean, I'm sure that threads of this discussion are going to revisit themselves in this discussion. So, we have on, of course, most of our staff here. We will be having an extended politics discussion later. I don't know how I'm going to release them, but stay tuned. So, John, seniors consultant on tech, uh, staff consultant on gaming, senior staff consultant on. We'll figure this out.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
going
figure out.
through because of a lot of things going on in the industry, right? Um, we're going through a corporate restructure. Okay, we're doing with some organizational changes,
I
and
see,
we
I
want to
see.
be intentional about how we roll it out, right? So I think implementing AI is our shareholders' biggest demand right now.
I see.
So we
I
need to
see.
figure out how to put in AI. And when I say AI, I'm talking about actually Indians. I'm not talking about artificial intelligence.
Oh, I was talking about Africans instead.
Oh, okay,
Africans
okay. We can
instead
do
for
that too.
sure.
Yeah, we can do
Um,
that. We can do that.
there one of these Waymo machines, the self-driving cars, they found out that they were actually driven by people in the Philippines. And I made a joke to Adi, is like, oh yeah, AI, adobo eaters instead.
Peter's is dead.
Because what the hell? None of this shit is actually AI. It's just someone
No,
from a place that you don't live in doing the work.
That's
so
always been the thing though. Like you guys remember the Elon Musk like robot things he was trying to do where
the
like
Elon Musk
he's trying to
robot. Yeah.
yeah, he's trying to like sell these off as like true AI moving around inside of a metal frame. It's just a dude in a suit. Like it's straight
It's
up just it's
literally a
not
dude
even
in a
It was a
suit.
dude
it's
in a
not
suit,
even
and then the innovation is we'll get a guy in India with an Oculus
literally.
to be your.
Literally. And it's like you couldn't have even given them a controller, like just a dude in a suit for the grand showing of this new product. It's crazy. Like
Well, it's because you remember them Amazon the Amazon smart stores, right? Where it's like you just walk in, take this stuff, and then automatically they'll charge you for it, right? And as it
yeah,
turns out, there was no visual recognition technology or anything of the sort. It was someone reviewing security footage and then manually billing you, basically.
I
There
did
was
not know
literally
that.
a physical person who was on the freaking cameras watching each person put stuff in and out of their carts. And that's how they calculated it. All of those stores are closed or closing, by the way. They announced
Like
that early this month.
that's so crazy to me. Like why do all this? Like just give me a self-checkout thing then.
Right.
Like just be normal. Just be normal. There's like you're not disrupting anything. You're not doing anything special. Just be normal and just let me do a
Like, like,
self-checkout.
like as soon as Epic youth were making I steal $1,000 worth of merch at self checkout memes. The industry cracked down pretty hard. We're probably at the point now where like you probably have better luck at doing that with a person at the register than at self checkout. They're ready to just execute you on site at a self checkout now. So like I don't understand
They
why they
cameras
would
at
even
the
listen
self
to this.
checkout is crazy.
Right.
Same.
So, um, so yes, probably trying to get us back on track. So the last time we spoke about tech and AI on this show was December 3rd, 2023, amid the OpenAI Microsoft partnership and the rising public profile of digital watermelon seller Sam Altman. Um, Needless to say, it's been fascinating to see how nothing has really advanced from that point, but we're living in like the end conclusion of that deal. And we're seeing that just again with again my really bad but like impression of like corporate shareholders doing like this big AI push, how AI seems to be everywhere. If you were watching the Super Bowl this year, AI ads took up a plurality of the screen time.
I can't look at a
Um
job in education without seeing AI a minimum of 3 times in the job posting.
That's crazy.
Every single one.
right, and it's like I could definitely,
Education.
and I can speak to this. It's like some workplaces are practically forcing you to use AI in situations it
Yes.
doesn't make sense to use it. So, I mean, let's just consider how much bullshit has happened between then and today, just from a societal perspective, but also in the world of tech. Right? It's people have talked a lot about the burgeoning tech bubble. Some have likened it to the 2008 housing market, but it's still not 100% the same. And it's this weird situation where the AI true believers are definitely out and about. The evangelicism or the evangelization of AI is still happening at full clip. But anyone savvy enough or anyone who's paying attention, even at like a vibes based level, can kind of see this like, hey, this something's not right here. This looks propped up,
No,
and this bubble just keeps opening.
I agree. I think that another thing that I think we haven't really touched on was the fact that a big difference between like 2023 and like these guys like Musk and Altman and all them, a big difference between that and now is the fact that they're just openly functioning as a wing of the national security state. Like you
Yeah,
have like flock cameras, you have like all of this like facial recognition quote unquote technology that ICE is using. They're literally just openly mask off, just like we are here to survey you or to surveil you. We are here to, make sure your life is not actually easy, but as hard as possible. We're going to be working with every single bad agency we can think of. And that's how we're gonna make our money. And it's just like fuck you. You're gonna still use our Chat GPT or whatever, and you're gonna help us do it. And it's that I feel like before they kind of pretended by playing this awkward Tony Stark persona. Now they're not even pretending anymore. It's not like a there's no grift anymore. Well, I guess it is a grift, but like it's not they're not grifting anymore. They're just openly saying, yeah, we're evil.
I mean, with Musk especially, right? I think like Alex Karp from Palantir is even the more naked example of that. Just full on like speed rants in like investor portfolio meetings and like public forums. This guy spinning in his chair, saying nonsense in interviews. And like what is decipherable in his rants is like uh, you know, political insecurity is great business for Palantir. If heads roll, it's good for our business model. Like that's the type of stuff he's saying nakedly, right?
Yeah.
So
And there's more like with the shift, right? Like I know that at the Super Bowl, you mentioned the Super Bowl commercials. There was that Super Bowl commercial that I remember us all watching and thinking that's fucking weird. About like the Ring camera like mesh network that uses AI to help find pets or something. And like
yeah,
there was like this huge backlash over that because people are like, if they can use this to detect a dog, like at night, where it's super not clear and they can still detect they can detect us, right? And so there was like this huge backlash. And I remember I remember thinking that it was really weird that Ring started focusing so heavily on crime. Because like back I need to stop saying back in my day, but like a while ago I remember watching Ring ads and it had nothing to do with like stopping crime and all this weird shit. It was just like it was just like people leaving goofy, like doing goofy poses in front of the camera, being like, haha, the get a ring camera. And that was pretty much it. Now it's like, no, we're gonna, stop crime, and we're gonna make sure that we share everything with law enforcement and all this other shit. And it's like, bro, that's weird. Like,
Well,
I feel like,
because
no, go ahead.
well, there's an age-based component to this. I'm starting to realize, which is for us, right, under 35, liberally educated, and then we're marginally left-wing, right?
Also, no
Um,
kids.
no
No
kids.
That's
children, true.
that's
Well,
important for this because they keep saying the reason why they keep getting more surveillance is because they want to protect their children. And they want to make sure that
yeah.
they like these are and I'm gonna go into the generational shit. These are latchkey Gen X kids who did not have any supervision or like older millennials who had very little supervision who are trying to overcorrect from that lack of like security they had as a child by trying to over secure and over surveillance their own house. And it's
Well,
insane.
that actually feeds into what I was going to get into as well, right? Because it's not just surveillance, um, technological perspective, but even like look at the platforms they'll use. They'll use Facebook communities to snitch on one another. They'll
Hmm.
use apps like Nextdoor, and Nextdoor is just like true crime paranoia about your immediate neighbors. If you've ever used the platform, it's ridiculous.
I agree, yeah.
It should be for things like, oh, my cat's lost, and instead it's like, I think the guy at house number 240 is selling a weed. That type of shit, right?
Don't let you have an
Um,
HOA. It's literally just snitching.
it is just snitching, right? And then it's like the thing about Ring cameras is this is they've always been controversial for this reason, right? There's always been like a degree of reporting on how secure the footage is. And I think like for what I was saying about our age and like demographic cohort, we are not the population that was getting inundated with protect your property, crime is on the rise type messaging from like 22 onwards. You get what I'm saying? I think there's a certain type of suburban person who has really internalized this heightened state of alert that doesn't really match the reality. I think that, they've used things like the George Floyd uprisings as a justification to settle into like a fortress of solitude mentality, which is why we see some of that. I also think that there is a kind of resurgent war on crime narrative
Hmm.
that was used by the Democrats kind of cynically, and then once they kind of lost the momentum to Trump, Trump took that and immediately funneled that animus into anti-immigration. That's at
Right.
least my read of events.
Yeah, it's really interesting because like the whole protect the kids thing, like Sky, that was a really good point you brought up because like that's and the thing is like that talking point hasn't changed. That's still a talking point that has been used since literally the 60s, right? Like
Yeah.
protect our
Hmm.
kids from those evil queers or protect our kids from, integration or you know what I mean? Like there's always a save our children, protect the kids, think about the kids component.
Well, when you
When
consider like the white nationalist 14 words, it is
yeah,
just a racist version of protect the kids.
Yeah.
exactly. And it's like it's never for the kids. I always wonder
We've
why.
seen that.
Yeah, exactly. And
As
it's
we
so
are seeing
interesting. Like
today, they do not care about what happens to
they do
children,
not give a fuck
unfortunately.
about them kids. Well, they do, but not in the way that you think.
Right,
Exactly.
right. And something too, because like I really do fixate on this for me personally, right? Like I think October 7th, 2023 was a major vibe shift. Just in like how everything has been personally and politically. But if you look at like the tech space and like the scam capitalism within it, prior to then it was, you saw cryptocurrency as like the major player before AI. And then as the cryptocurrency bubble kind of crashes with the Binance and FTX scandals, AI just kind of came in as the next phantom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like Yeah, I think it's crazy because like when it comes to the scam nature of AI, again, they're not even it's not even secretive, right? You have Nvidia, Oracle, Google, Microsoft, all these companies that are literally just like throwing a hot potato around full of investments, jumping from company to company, instead of actually like there's no actual value being generated. There's no actual like significant infrastructure being built that is done in a way that is sustainable or good. It's just a bunch of companies using speculative value and bullshit investments to kind of make their numbers go higher, which I think it is definitely fueling this bubble, right? And that's kind of the same thing on a different level that happened with crypto, right? Where you have like these huge companies, like this speculative investments in these huge companies like FTX, which crashed and left like this huge vacuum for speculative capital. And like AI is going to do the same thing. I don't know if I don't know if any of the big companies themselves are going to fail. I am in that it's too big to fail mindset, but like AI itself, I think
They
that
said that before.
that's true. That's true. Maybe I'll eat my
Remember where
words.
we live.
That's true. That's true. That's true. And it's funny. It's funny you mentioned remember where you live because like I feel like Detroit specifically, like we're just so used to these quote unquote disruptors just coming and going, and like they come in, they quote unquote disrupt, and then they just fuck Detroit, land grabs, just tons of speculation, and then they just dip. I think AI is doing the exact same thing where it's like
Illages.
yes.
Sorry.
Oh my God. Don't.
Oops.
I won't get on the soapbox. Don't do that. But like that's the thing. AI is just doing the exact same pattern, the exact same thing. It's just gonna. The only difference is that cryptocurrency was like this digital gold, while AI is just like digital workers. That's fundamentally the only difference.
I think I'm gonna jumble the outline here because this is probably a nested discussion in all this, right? Something that because you named a lot of those main players, right? Microsoft, Google, Oracle, Nvidia are kind of all in on it, and OpenAI has kind of been playing with daddy's money, so to speak, with these companies, right? We're seeing a bit of a backlash from other chip manufacturers come up as a result of this because of the rush to build data centers. There's talk about computer part shortages. There's talk about NVIDIA graphics cards being fundamentally unusable for any purpose other than AI. And I think the nested discussion in this, now that I really think about it from the 2000s onwards, was the rise of cloud computing, right? You can't really have AI today without cloud computing being seen as like the default model of running business. The idea of just get it off of your local host, you'll save money and just rent it from us was probably an attractive idea to investors and to like C-suite types. But fundamentally, we're seeing that we've paid the price for that, right? Whether it's streaming being fundamentally unusable by consumers, whether it's the fact that these data centers are like increasingly taking up more and more space and are being run with very poor environmental controls, or in some cases, they're just not feasible to build. Um, it's some level, I kind of feel like cloud computing itself is seen as too big to fail. You have major contracts for cloud computing that already have been causing environmental degradation here in the US and as well as like around the world wherever these facilities are held. The massive environmental cost of cloud computing is never considered. We've talked about it on this show, but I don't see that thought of in mainstream discussions. And to run things like the modern surveillance state, you need cloud computing infrastructure, right? You need to host all those data centers. And I know people talk about locally hosting things as a way to fight back, but do you see like a relationship between like the cold, dead-eyed logic of how AI is being rolled out and like the fundamental assumption that cloud computing is the normal way to run things?
Oh, 100%. Like, I think you hit the nail perfectly on the head in that you cannot have AI without the cloud. And it's funny because I feel like the reason why people don't really think of the cloud within this negative lens is because no one really knows what it is, which I think is
Yeah.
hilarious. Like even people in the tech industry we think of cloud and we think of, oh, it's a server, it's a computer somewhere else. But even then, you have to realize the cloud is literally a building. It is a literal building that is going to be built somewhere. That like these servers have to exist somewhere. They're not just in some random dude's basement. They are a building. They have environmental impacts, and I think that I know, I'm sure we've talked about this on this podcast before. The amount of water that these data centers use is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. There's a lot of like misinformation going around because there's a difference between the water being used in terms of like executing a query and the water being used in terms of training.
Right.
And like the water being used in terms of training is needed still. Like you cannot have that AI model without that training, and it's way more than you think. It's actually insane.
God.
Yeah, and on top of that, you have to remember there's another, like there's just so much that goes into it. Environmental racism. You ever realize that like data centers
Yes.
are only ever put in rural or like urban ethnic areas? It's like they put these data, they know that these data centers are horrible for the community, so they put them in marginalized communities that they don't mind exploiting, and they use up that water, and then we end up paying for it. We ended up like subsidizing, or whatever you want to say. I do think that when it comes to like community resistance, I think that locally hosting things kind of is a step in the right direction, but
Mhm.
fundamentally it's like that can't be the only thing we do. Like of course community owned resources, community decisions, like autonomy is the number one thing that kind of pushes back against this weird like internal, I want to call it like an internal imperialism and like a tech imperialism in a way. But like I feel like there needs to be more, because like we need to not only take control of these resources, but then also on a fundamental level we need to like destroy some of them. Like we need to get them out, whether that looks like there, I know that there are there was like, I think there was a data center that was supposed to be built over here, right? OU.
In
I don't know what
saline.
ended up,
Yeah. Oh yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what ended up happening there. I don't know if they stopped that project or they're still gonna keep going, but like I feel like people need to do more mobilization around this kind of shit, because at the end of the day, it's like you are an internal colony. Everyone who's listening to this is a part of an internal colony, and these data centers are a way to extract that value from you.
Which kind of that
States'
explains, because I know a
rights.
lot. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's just like states' rights. You tell them no. And
It's
that's
right.
one of the biggest things that we need to do as Michiganders, because we have the most fresh water and they don't. The AI needs fresh water. Guess who else needs fresh water? Humans to survive. So like we need to be the ones who are saying no and yelling and calling our politicians and maybe showing up and yelling at them in their faces, because they're not getting that we need. No, they get it. They just don't care. Um, and I I have hated the cloud my entire time I've ever known about the cloud, because why can I not search for something that's supposed to be on my computer? Why can't I find this document that's on my computer that I made? Why is it somewhere else? Put it on my computer. Let's
Exactly.
bring back floppy disks.
Yo, bring them back. We need them.
Dead
Bring,
Like
ass.
I
bring back flash drive.
like I
Oh
feel like the
man,
cloud,
love
the
a flash drive.
oh, of course. The cloud as infrastructure, I think, makes sense. The cloud as like a personal use device where all of my shit gets uploaded to somewhere else, I think is the most insane thing ever. I don't know. Maybe I've had Apple devices before, like iCloud Drive was a thing. And like I was always so confused as to how I have photos on my phone, and then all of a sudden my iCloud drive is full because all of my photos are actually secretly being backed up there. And it's like, bro, what is happening?
Just put
Like
it on my
why?
phone, and then let me put it on
Just
my
put it
computer
on
when
my
my phone's
phone.
full. Like, what was wrong with
Exactly,
that?
man. Like who asked
Literally.
for this? Who
Let
asked
me
for this?
decide.
Actually, no, that's a perfect way to talk about this, because who asked for this is the end user experience these days. And I think like what you both have lined out is like the mechanism for how techno feudalism, if anyone's heard the concept before, I think the early criticisms of techno feudalism is like, but we're not sure that's how it plays out. But fundamentally, in like the way we're seeing the tech sector try to buy up and own land and supersede local laws, local communities, and buy off um, local government structures to kind of own bits and pieces of the land and own bits and pieces of people's information, is the mechanism by which techno-feudalism seems to be operating today.
Yeah, I guess
Which
the
is,
question is
yeah,
how do you move past that? Like how do you, because like the only way I can think of is like what we were talking about, locally hosting things, physical media when it comes to like storage of your own personal data. But it's like that's a hard sell for a lot of people. Like I feel like a lot of people have just gotten so complicit with the systems that this techno feudalism kind of brought with it. Like for example, we all know my wife is a graphic designer, takes a ton of photos. I don't think she'd be able to do her job without being able to upload like her photos are, she's like these, I don't know shit about cameras, so you know, if you're listening out there, please forgive me, but like she takes like thousands of photos at an event, and like the actual photos, they're not like normal JPEGs or whatever, they're like super huge raw
yeah,
like data files, and it's like she cannot store that on her Mac or whatever she uses, right? So it's like what's the solution here, you know, because we like the infrastructure is helpful, it has a use case. The problem is that it's like it doesn't apply to everyone, right? That use case is not needed for every situation. I feel like they're like I'm not trying to say we should seize the means of productions, but like we need to seize the means of productions
We
and make it
do.
work for us, bro. Like I don't, there's no other way around that. Like we need people to start storming these data centers and going, nah, this is mine now. Like I
no,
don't know
I
what
think
else a solution would be.
you're making a ton of sense there, right? Because I think like certain things like the internet, certain things like the cloud at a point, because there's so much public use and they're like held in common in a way, it would make sense for nationalization to be one of the routes to accomplish that. Can the US state do that right now? I'm not convinced, right? If it
Also,
would
would
have to
you
show,
trust it if they did?
well,
It's
and
If
that's what I'm saying.
our
Is like it would
government
have to
right
be a
now decided
fundamentally,
that?
that's exactly what I'm saying. It would have to be a fundamentally different government to for me to trust that. But the other thing I'm thinking about too, right, is because of all the ideological blunders and assumptions baked into how everything works today, right? The grand masturbatory ideology of AI kind of just meshes into it perfectly. You know what I'm saying? These guys already believe that they're the masters of the world. They believe that this money is owed to them. So when something is promised to them by the great tech billionaires who have fooled them into thinking that they're actually smart, you know, and the promise is you will not need to ever pay your workers, you will never need to pay hosting fees, you will never need to pay to own your infrastructure. If all you ever think about is your profit and loss statement, like you only see the world as your profit and loss statement, it's a highly attractive offer. And more than that, um, I don't know if shattering people's ideology or shattering people's assumptions is 100% liberatory. I think for some people, we've seen this in our own lives that if you're able to persuade them or if you're able to change their assumptions or you change their worldview, they can kind of move past that and then join you on the other side. And then, you know, there's work to be done with that person. Some people don't take that very well. Some people, I think, in my experience, when they're confronted with that, and this is the role of ideology at a point, right? Ideology isn't you trying to explain things. Ideology is what you come up with so you don't have to explain things. I found that a certain type of person, particularly those in power, just double down. So I'm not even sure how persuading is going to play out. It'll probably work for people who, you know, already don't like this technology, who already hate that everything's getting shittier. If you're dealing with people who are tired of being tired, you can probably get them on your side. But what do we do about the cult of AI? You know, that's the thing that I think about as well. Because there's some people who just they've talked to Chat GPT so much and they've bought the self-aggrandizing language that it talks to them with that I don't think they're ready to part with it. And how do we deal with a society that has had AI psychosis inflicted upon it? I don't think we even have an answer to that.
Yeah, no, I
Redacted.
agree. I mean, I feel like on some level, you just got to unplug it. Like, I feel like at some level, that's just what it is.
Just detox them. Let's just
Yeah.
kidnap them, put them in a no technology space, and just give them a little detox, and they'll be fine.
And like
I'm
I know I keep mentioning this being like, oh, as a person without social media, it's like it does sometimes feel like I'm on the outside looking in and just watching some people just do the most like what the fuck do you mean you have an AI girlfriend? What do you mean? In
no,
what way?
you're spot
Like, what
on
are we
because
talking about?
I had to
Some of
have
them
that
have
moment with myself.
multiple AI girlfriends.
Oh my
Bro is
They
god.
cheating on an
getting
AI with an
multiple
AI, huh?
AI
That's what
hoes.
I'm saying is like what level of social psychosis are we at where it's like it's normal for people to be doing this. It's happening more often than you think.
But I mean, I feel like that's a direct result of what you were talking about, right? Like you have this ideology of AI. It's like this weird because they do this. They have like this weird quasi religious rhetoric where they're like, what do they love saying? They love calling themselves accelerationists or like the effective altruists or whatever the fuck they say.
Yeah.
Like it's like it feels like a religion, like a cult at some way, and
It
like
is.
the way they put up AI, like that is like their god. That is like their divine inevitable force, you know. And I feel like when you have this framing, it's like that ideology is like how do I say it's like naturalizing the technology, right? It makes it seem like AI isn't this thing that we as people put together, but instead it's like a force of nature that we must accept to. Like AI is coming just like, you know, the wind will blow this way. And it's like that's not how this shit is. And I think that that's why people fall so heavily into that weird AI hole, right? On top of, you know, trying to make it, you know, AI seem inevitable, they also just straight up just concentrate power, right? You have when you have like this quasi religious structure that is being fed by profits and, you know, speculative value, you end up having people like Altman, like Musk. They're not just like eccentric businessmen anymore. They're prophets. They're prophets, right? They're prophets that are coming with the message of AI, right? Telling people about what the future is going to be, and there's little to no pushback because of that inherent structure.
So maybe let's focus on this next thing, right? Because enshittification is a term that's entered the lexicon lately, and also slop is another term that I think perfectly captures some of this, right? I think the big challenge to countering the AI cult or AI ideology, as we've been calling it, I think a lot of people have used the technology or have dealt with the technology and have correctly determined this thing does not does do what it's advertised to do, and the stuff it produces is so remedial and base level that it's not worth doing. And yet, for the people who love it, it's perfect. And I find this very funny, right? Did you see that people are doing these AI caricatures of themselves and
You
the
wouldn't have.
challenge?
He's so lucky.
Yeah,
No, I don't.
this is what I'm
I'm
saying.
not even joking. I have no idea what you're talking
No,
about.
I'm
You're
telling you,
literally
like, I'm telling
so
you, you are
lucky.
so right. You are so right for being off of social media. I was feeling a lot better about my life when I was completely off. I made the mistake of downloading Instagram again. I don't use it a ton, and I've already had to like cut myself off from using it because it's like there's so much slop on the platform. It makes me upset. But there's this challenge going around, and I was forced to see this at my work, so it was pissing me off. Where people are told to tell their AI of choice what their job title is and have it generate a caricature
It's not
based on what
just
it knows
their
about
job
them.
title.
Oh, it's like
They're they're
knowing all this
feeding
info about
their
me.
personality. They're like, I like cats, and I'm a part-time dancer, and I'm an HR specialist. And I'm saying this because I literally, this is somebody on Facebook I saw, and I'm like, so it popped, and then they put their photo in. And then it populates this thing, and it populates this horrible picture that's supposed to be a caricature, except for it's not. And it's kind of like a Disney-fied version of the person. And it's got all of their hobbies and whatever they put in. So this person was like, I'm an HR specialist, so it had stuff about HR, and then she's like in these puree stuff because she does dance and she has her cats in her arms, and it's like the color of her cats because she probably put that picture in as well. Like they're literally feeding their entire data and their photo into AI for an ugly picture.
It's so crazy to me. Like,
And the thing that gets me about the people that do that is these are the people that decry, other countries for surveillance. They
literally.
decry. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I deal with this a lot in life. I'm not going to name any names, but like I have been forced to listen to so much AI music and like look at AI art and just like pretend that it's okay because I'm trying to keep the peace. But it's like it's the most soulless and dead-eyed stuff, and people consume it like it's actual content. And I would even argue that like because of the consumer nature of how music and certain content is consumed these days, certain consumers have no taste. You know what I'm saying? So they'll just consume AI slop because they were used to human made slop. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
It's so
It
crazy that
thrives
people
on
are
Facebook.
Yeah, it's so crazy that people are just fully giving, like, we know already like how badly these AI tech companies handle our data. We already know this. We already know that every single website you go to on the internet tracks you. They give you cookies so that they can sell your
Your
your browsing
data.
information. Yeah, so they can sell your browsing information to advertisers. And then, like, we already have this. There was already a huge movement when I think when we were in college about net neutrality and about all making sure the internet was accessed and open to everybody without all these trackers. We have pop-ups on every single website that's like, you need to customize which cookies we give you because we will track you if you don't tell us no. And then meanwhile, on social media, we just have, yeah, here's my entire life, into so that we can, feed your next AI model. You can just have all that information and a picture of me. Like, that is, I just don't understand how people don't understand. Like, how do people not
And
look in
they,
the
and they
mirror and
take
go,
it
"Wow,
at their
this is
word.
fucking weird."
They just take these companies at their word, like, oh, they're not going to steal our data. And then like I'll see people put company code in AI. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like
my god,
that's
dude.
what I'm saying. Like it's the most perfect distillation of American ideology at this point. Everyone's
Yeah,
tired, everyone's stupid, no one has it in them to do anything critical, but they'll tell the machine to do something, and it's like it's soulless. People are happy to be soulless right now. I don't know what to say about it other than like it's purely indicative of a spiritual crisis in this country. And I'm not saying in a religious sense, but like it is kind of spiritually dead to want to like let this machine produce everything for you and you have no input or desire on your perspective. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I just text you guys two examples of people on Facebook whose posts I saw, to the point where I'm a person who does not post on Facebook, right? Like I'm 100% a lurker. And if I post something, it's because it's like serious. I literally had to post something that's like, these chat GPT trends are only increasing your electric bill and poisoning the black and poor communities water supply. Because
yes,
literally I got on Facebook one day and could not escape. Every third post was this caricature shit. And I am Facebook with a lot of suburban white people from college. Like, it comes with the it comes with the territory. But like it's so crazy because you think that people understand like security, and maybe I'm the only one who's paying attention in those cybersecurity like trainings that we're forced to do. And it's like you put your data, all your information into this, and you're just okay with this. And I don't have bumper stickers on my car because I know that the more information you put on your car, the more information someone can steal from you. or use that to leverage something else.
Yeah, I mean, they're already like watching our license plate. Of course, like there's a reason why I think that like when it comes to like especially political slogans, it's like that should never go on a car because if they can track a license plate, they can track a bumper sticker. You know what I mean? And they're
Right.
gonna be like, oh, this person's pro Palestine. Well, we're gonna arrest them. Like that's so easy to do. I also,
I,
in terms of AI feeling soulless, I think that that's not the root. Like I feel like the root is like the technology itself. I feel like AI is it's not a it's how do I it's a solution, right? It's a solution with no question. So like it's not it's great for some things, but it's dog shit at other things because it was never meant to be that other thing. You know what I mean? And I think
Right.
Sky, I think you mentioned this early, like not today, but like way earlier. Like when AI was first like really popping off, it's like you had like these medical researchers going, "Hey, we could potentially use AI to figure out the shape of this protein and or whatever, and you could eliminate all of these diseases." It's like, nope. Instead, we get white women giving their AI all of their data and coming up with random, stupid, horrible looking pictures
Literally the worst.
just because it's
the
like
thing that gets me about those caricatures, by the way, like a caricature is supposed to be like really exaggerated and fucked up, and this is just like a cartoon version of you. It doesn't like emphasize or accentuate. It just like stole somebody's art style and then like foisted it on your picture.
You literally could have went on any social media platform and just was like, hey, is there an artist that is willing to make this? And I can guarantee you somebody could possibly want to do that for free just for the like opportunity or like 5, $10 because now you're their first commission and now they can feel like they're an actual artist even though they've been making art for so long. Like you're literally making the water worse, the earth worse, and worse by doing this when you could go and talk to a artist and they can give you something and you're actively making the community better, you're feeding the community, you're like helping, like it's so insane that people will choose to do the bad thing just because. And
yeah.
like you could say it's convenience, but it's not even for convenience because you never needed to have this caricature of yourself. That wasn't a necessity.
Yeah, I feel like it's not convenience, it's just laziness, really. It's like
Hmm.
why do the work? Why better the community? Why do all that when I can just clickety clack and then, And it's so funny because everyone I know, and this is I don't know if again I could be in a bubble, but every single person I have talked to is like, damn, bro, my DTE bill is so fucking high.
Hmm.
All this energy cost is just rising and rising, rising, and I haven't even used any more of it. Like, what's going on? It's like it's because of AI. It's because like we're paying the electricity bill for these data centers. We're paying the water bills for these data centers. And like
Hmm.
I feel like I feel like I'm like an insane person, screaming, at the, looking up at the sky shaking my fist because I feel like no one fully understands that is why shit is getting worse. It's like no, it's not like I'm not saying you're using AI and that's why it's happening, but because AI is on the rise and these energy costs need to be mitigated, they need to be paid by someone. It's going to be us. It's going to be our communities to end up paying for them.
Well, and here's the interesting thing about that as well, because yes, like we are already being made to feel the squeeze, but if you've looked at like I know Chapo had Ed Zitron on a couple months ago and they did some really good reporting on like the data center push. From a practical perspective, this is where the bubble gets even more interesting because we don't really have the means to accomplish this. There have been really worrying reports, one of we will now be in water debt based on what's needed to supply the water to these data centers, but also the manpower isn't there to build it. The electrical infrastructure still isn't there to provide it. So we're kind of seeing the industry push to create something for creation's sake that one may not even be practical to accomplish, which will be very funny to see. And this is what Ed Zitron was reporting on, is like where the data center projects fail because now you'll have GPUs ready with nothing to put them in, or you'll have server racks ready with nothing to power them, or like you have these data centers that need to be built and you don't have the electricians ready to work on these projects.
Yeah,
So
I know that there was one. I forgot where, but there was a data center being built somewhere in the Midwest,
yeah,
and I think it was Illinois. I forget where. I forget where it was. I know it was somewhere over here. But the thing was, is that there was an ordinance to not use like a fossil fuel. Like it was like a temporary fossil fuel setup that they could use to like burn. I think it was methane. It was one of the bad gases to
Ooh.
generate electricity. And there was a data center that Elon Musk himself was advocating for and pushing, and turns out they had like a ton of these illegal generators running so they could power the data center because the local grid just did not have enough power for them. And it's like I think that's the scary part. The scary part is like I agree with the reporting. It's like they do not have the manpower, they do not have the infrastructure, they do not have the energy, but it doesn't matter. They're gonna, if they don't have the manpower, they'll figure out how to do slavery. If they don't have the energy, they'll figure out
Mhm.
how to, fuck over our air so they can get that energy. You know what I mean?
right.
Uh, while I do agree with the reporting, I feel like I don't want people to get the wrong impression, and I feel like the wrong impression is that every single one of these data center projects are just gonna fail. We can just sit back and wait. But like, no, they're gonna do some fucked up shit before it completely falls apart. And if they get away with that fucked up shit, no, they're not. They're just gonna keep going, right? Like, there's no
Right.
stopping them.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is like there's no point doing the anti-accelerationism of let's just sit back and watch them fail because everything they're doing sets a dangerous precedent. Even if they don't accomplish the data center projects, they still set the precedent that a tech company can come in and violate local law and ordinance. They set the precedent that city councils and town boards are for sale by default. They set the precedent that clean water is not a right, and they're already
Mhm.
using existing precedents against the environment. Like this is what I'm trying to say, right? And I think we talked about this briefly earlier, but I'll say it again. We saw in 22 and 21 how the crypto boom was already fucking up the environment with energy use. We saw the massive cooling needs of those crypto scams, right? And that was for a pure unproductive use compared to AI, right? So we sat through that, and now we're kind of seeing it happen in an even larger scale. And I know that people did oppose crypto. I know people did like what they could here and there. But whatever momentum they got doing that shit is what they're doing to enable this. And I think where this all ties together, right, is if we look at this current Trump term, right? If we look at the fact that agencies like ICE are relying on even shittier AI models to try and like track who they want to profile and arrest, and how that has ties to the Israeli tech industry, how it has ties to the national defense state here, right? And how this is all downstream. And they talk about this in Reign of Terror, which is Spencer Ackerman's book on like how 9/11 kind of created the Trump era, right? Um, the Department of Homeland Security it was downstream of all the civil liberties Americans were willing to give up in response to 9/11. So the more that you take that sit back and wait approach, the more they'll still try to claw shitty victories for other things.
Yeah, and it's so interesting that the AI industries has yet to learn from crypto. Because like I don't know if you guys are familiar, but Bitcoin is crashing right now. Like
Literally.
Good,
I think
good.
yeah, and it's
Right.
like how have we not learned? How have we not figured this out? Like I think I forgot the actual number, but I'm pretty sure like billions of dollars are
It,
Which,
are
by
it
the
losing.
way,
literally have been billions,
and wasn't it
multiple billions.
because like people are crashing out because if it wasn't bad enough that there were rumors that the CIA and intelligence may have had ties to the creation of Bitcoin, it's now all but revealed that Jeffrey Epstein may have played a role in its creation.
Jeffrey
I did
Epstein has
not know that.
literally played a role in every single bad thing. Oh yeah. Oh, I don't even know how much updated you are, John, on like the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. But like we learned this week that the person who did our school photos, Life Touch, was connected to Jeffrey Epstein.
What the fuck? What do you mean?
Like connected. Like people are saying that he had access, Jeffrey Epstein had access to all of the photos of all of the kids being taken in America because all of the schools use the same service.
Was he giving so okay, whoa, okay. So
Giving or having access to or
just a
directly
catalog of
connected.
children.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that is crazy.
Exactly. I know.
And then
So
I right here from The Guardian too. So this was on the 9th of February. Files cast light on Jeffrey Epstein's ties to cryptocurrency. Early backing of Bitcoin and Coinbase.
No way, that's crazy.
yeah,
So
and like
once again,
every single thing, like I mean, that's why I was gonna say with like when you said the housing crash, I was like, well, Epstein was like connected to that too. Epstein has
Jesus.
literally been like connected to every single bad thing of our current lives is because of Jeffrey Epstein.
That's crazy. I got an article, like, the last thing I read from Jeff, because I have not been following this Epstein shit, like,
It's so hard. There's so much.
exactly. The last thing I saw was about Bondi and her
she was crashing out in Congress.
insane,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
bitch
her
ass
insane
lying.
Is it a
testimony.
Dow at 50,000? The Dow's at 50,000.
Like,
Like,
oh my, like,
bitch, what that gotta do? There's pedophiles everywhere.
fuck that. There's
Like, not
survivors
even in
standing
America.
behind you. There's survivors standing behind you.
Exactly.
You won't even
She's
look at them. Like,
literally she's a psychopath. Like and there was also alleged that her like the Department of whatever were like doing research on all of the people who were asking her questions. So like they looked up the people's like internet search history and everything and knew which questions they were going to ask based off of their search history.
that's fucking
So they can
terrifying.
know exactly how to deflect.
That is terrible. But it's so funny because even with that information, she still fucked
He
up when
still
it
did
came to the
bad.
Holocaust survivor or she wasn't a survivor, but her grandparents were, I think.
Oh, she fucked up with a few of them. Like she just tried to be like, "You're not a real politician. You're not a lawyer." And it's like, girl, haven't you not argued a case ever?
Yeah.
You're barely a
Yeah,
lawyer.
wasn't she the Attorney General of Florida too? So it's like you have
Yeah.
court
Oh, yeah.
experience. What is this?
They said that she was the Attorney General of Florida, like during some Epstein shit.
Well, and that's the thing about Pam Bondi's career. I mean, we talked about this on the program before, is like she was there to make sweetheart deals with corporations and the government of Florida. Like that's her legal
That's
basis. I
all
think
Florida knows how to do is sweetheart deals. Sorry, for white people, not for the black and brown people. Sorry to y'all. Y'all don't got enough money or not close enough to the pedophile ring.
Fortunately, depending on, how you look
Right.
at it.
I know. It's like,
so. I
I
think
think I would rather be in jail.
Honestly.
so. Something I'm thinking about too. I think I was reading David Harvey's book on neoliberalism earlier, and he does cite that like computing technology was critical for the implementation of neoliberalism, and I think it can kind of be said that you can't have modern neoliberalism without computers. But I don't think that computers have to be inherently capitalist in their entire use, right? There were advancements in from the Soviet bloc in computing. There's the myth of red plenty, where apparently, and this is, I have no way to verify this, but it's probably fun to speculate on this. Um, Salvador Allende had to be overthrown because his government was researching how to use computers to do a planned economy.
Ooh, that's interesting.
That's an alleged theory, right? So What I'm trying to say is that computers don't have to inherit them or can use them for our own purposes, right? So maybe to try and close out the discussion, because I don't know what we're going to do other than just lose our minds. um, society, how would you think tech should work? And how would we prevent fuckery like we're seeing right now?
I saw that question on the outline and I got really excited because like the thing when it comes to tech, it's like the where tech is right now in America, it's so obviously because of neoliberalism, imperialism, and capitalism. Like it's when you look at your favorite tech bro's favorite tech bro, like the actual guy who's actually smart, not the
Linus
Elon Musks,
Torvalds.
but like yeah, you know what I mean? Like the guy who Elon Musk is stealing from, like that guy. It's like 9 times out of 10, they're not some Tony Stark ass fucking tech bro. They are probably some nerd who is a contributor on like 30 different open source projects, right? Like they
Yeah.
are they are like a developer like that's just contributing code to projects that they are not getting paid for. Listener, I don't know if you know what open source means, but it just means that the source code for the whatever you're working on is public.
Open
Anyone
source
can
means
contribute.
correct. Open source
Yeah,
means good. Open source means you are going to heaven.
yeah, literally. It's like the most socialist framing of tech projects, and the open source community has been thriving for a while, and it's so interesting because when you the second you step outside of that, you end up with pedophile Nazis, like literally. And so I don't know. In my ideal world, everything would be open source. Every single thing would be open source. There's no reason to close it. If it's going to be used for public, the public should be able to control it. When it comes to data centers, I don't think that data centers are inherently bad, so long as the community that they are in again has full control, right? Like if they need to cut it off to preserve their water, fuck you, it's getting cut off to preserve their water. If electricity bill goes a little too high, they unplug it by all means, right? I think that bottom up community control, community driven resources, things that actually benefit the people instead of just these random solutions with no actual problems that address zero questions. I think that just is the way to go. But again, I guess that's the same as saying, "Hey, I'm a socialist." So, yeah, that.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I don't understand how the like technology and everything isn't open source. Like it is
Money.
ridiculous that you created this to spy on people and then made us pay for it. It should be
Yeah,
free
man.
then. If you're stealing
Yeah,
all my data, then I should not have to pay Xfinity a cent. Just steal it
yeah. I
for
feel like
free.
I feel like it'll be. I feel like it'd be really. It would be so different if we got to sell our data to advertisers. You know what I mean?
Right. Let
Like
me let
instead
me
of
be
instead
like
of being
you though.
tricked into it, like because our
Let
data
me
is
get a
so
little
valuable.
dime
That's why they.
for it.
No, but it's no. We would get way more than like the
I
amount
know,
of
right?
money that what I mean. Like the amount of money that goes into buying people's data for advertising is insane. Like if I got that money and I got to choose which advertising company got it or who their clients are or whatever, that would be an entirely different story. But again,
Right.
that's the difference, right? Like us having control versus them having control.
I think no matter what, for me, just looking at it from my perspective, the tech industry kind of relies on wasteful logic, whether it
Yeah.
is like the construction of data centers for the construction's sake, or whether it's like planned obsolescence. Like I'm looking at these new AI powered laptops that are coming in and they don't even fucking work. You know what I'm saying? Um, how much of like this Copilot enabled hardware is going to be functionally unusable if Copilot ever goes down. You know what I'm saying? We produce so much hardware and software that's like fundamentally wasted. Wouldn't you want the first step to actually, and this is like in my ideal society, not that I'm qualified to pontificate on this. I would start with like prevention of e-waste first and foremost.
Yeah.
It is a side tangent, right? But it's like think about like how this parts shortage as a result of AI is going to wreak havoc on like computer repair as well as like people who need to buy new computers or need to build their new computers, right? So many people get tricked into buying the newest product or buying the newest parts for their stuff. And it's never centered around how can we build machines that are built to last or are purpose built for their users, you know?
I
Yeah, no,
mean,
So
that's
I
much
think,
of this, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah.
oh,
No, I was
I was
just gonna.
just thinking
Oh, go
about, oh, sorry. Like with Apple, like how much they could change so much if they even just stopped a new phone every year method, like, and just did it every other year, every 2 years. If they made sure that every single iPhone, like new iPhone produced, was made out of old parts, because it's all the same shit. So why do you need to go to the Congo and steal all the cobalt to make the same shit that you've already been making? Like, reuse this shit.
yeah. I was just
Stop
gonna. I
just
was gonna.
throwing shit away.
I was gonna say the exact same point. It's like there's so many conflicts in Africa, so many conflicts in the global south that is purely just driven by the phone industry. Like it's insane. There's so many like rare earth metals that aren't actually rare, but we just need them in our phones for conductive materials. And like that is the reason why there's like wars and slavery and all this horrific shit. It's like we don't need like for example, I just started a new job and I don't have too much work to do. So I got to kind of like, I was kind of help cleaning out the tech closet. I literally just grabbed like these two old tablets that are like they're like the Windows. I forgot. I don't know their actual name. They're like old as fuck.
The
Threw
Surface
Linux on
tablets?
it. No, they're not Surfaces. They're I don't. It's not in front of me, so I can't like tell you what it is.
Yeah.
I think it's like it's a Venue Pro. It's one of those. It's for like it's for like the specifically for like corporate work or whatever. But like
Okay.
it's just one of the many like 2-in-1 tablet laptops. And it's like I just slapped Linux on it and it functions perfectly. It's like a 10-year-old laptop. And it's like why it's so good. Like we don't need the newest, latest and greatest. And
We
what's being
literally don't.
what's being innovated on isn't even really all that important or needed. You have Apple dropping a new phone every single year, even though they still can't figure out what every single phone company at this point has, which is AI in their phones. Like
Oh,
Apple,
did
Apple cannot figure that shit out.
did you hear that they are straight up going into Gemini?
Oh my
Like
god, that's awesome.
they said that they're giving up on Apple Intelligence. They're implementing Google Gemini. They
Which is already
While they're
ass.
doing this, right, exactly. Oh, well, I guess it exists at least, because that's the whole thing about Apple Intelligence, because they're literally also getting sued right now for advertising that Apple Intelligence were in all of these phones, and it does not exist.
How, like you're Apple, man. Like you do all this tracking on my data, but you can't like steal. You can't do a little bit of corporate espionage on fucking Google. Like, what are we doing?
I
What are
And,
we
and
I
think
doing?
about
don't
like all like the
understand. Like, they did not
incestuous.
think. No thought about this. Like, none of this was strategic. Like, you know how all of the rest of this shit was like, someone's getting in a lab, they're getting in a boardroom, they're getting on a secret fucking pedophile island, and they're talking about this and they're planning this out strategically. I think everyone, like someone like Sam Altman and ChatGPT started fucking AI like coming into the mainstream, and everybody else, stupid fucks, were like, we need AI now. We need to put AI up everyone's ass. And then nobody was like, okay, but how do we do that?
Yeah.
How do we actually? But that's the thing about all of these AI models, the Cybertruck, all of this shit is when they go on a stage to show us as the public that this is what is happening, those demos are always faked. Those
Oh
are
yeah,
not
100%.
real. The technology did not exist at that moment, and it's not going to exist when it gets to the consumer.
Yeah.
And this is the most insane. Like, how can you do that? How is this legal for them to continue to do this and demo things that do not exist, make us pay for it, and then be like, oopsie, here goes
Our
something
bad.
worse than what we said that we were going to give.
Well, isn't that because what I was about to say is like think about all the incestuous ways they have to actually work to accomplish it. It's like underwritten by each other's technologies, underwritten by AWS. So the minute AWS goes down, now your fridge doesn't work, believe it or not. Which is already just a hilarious thing to say. It's like,
I swear
oh, my
to
bed doesn't
God,
work because AWS. Like,
That
y'all put
doesn't
this
work.
under
man, my
my bed doesn't
toothbrush
work
doesn't work because of
because of AWS.
AWS. I swear to God, like if that happened to me, like if I was a person who like was disillusioned with how technology works with all this other stuff, and then you told me that my washer and dryer, my refrigerator, my toothbrush, my bidet, none of this stuff works, and I spent money, I feel like that person is more likely to do something crazy, like blow something up, than someone like us who has always understood this. Like they are pushing their consumers to the very edge. And I just don't understand why capitalism thinks that you can just take, and that people are gonna be okay with that.
Short-term profits, man. You know what can
It's
I say? The
short-term
shareholders
profits.
really
Yeah.
like that.
But also, like what you're saying is indicative of like the capitalist myth kind of falling apart in front of our eyes, where like they promise unlimited innovation, and in reality, Marx one gets proven right with the declining rate of profit, but then also there's only so much innovation you can do before you kind of reach the pinnacle of something, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
even if you reach the pinnacle, you can only add features. There's an upper limit, right? And I think like when market logic becomes the defining ideology for these people, where it's all about infinite growth, infinite development, infinite innovation, you can't operate in a business oriented mindset from there. You have to start then thinking about like, okay, long term, what's sustainable for society? And if that
Exactly.
means, hey, the iPhone 16 is the peak for a couple of years, let's deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's that you hit it right on the head, dude. Like the problem is innovation just for innovation's sake, right? It's
Right.
not innovation to better anyone's lives. It's not innovation to, because like we said earlier, we saw them being like, oh, AI can be used to cure disease. Where is it? Where is that? Why is that not happening then, right? Like this is not innovations to better, to make someone's life easier or better or give us the tools to do something cool. No, it's innovation to fire off your workers. It's innovation to make Elon Musk and Sam Altman even more money. Which I know this is a slight tangent, but I have to ask because you guys are definitely more knowledgeable on the whole Epstein situation. Just let me know when Sam Altman's name is revealed in the Epstein files, because there's no way he's not in there, right? Like all the
Open
shit he
the
was,
Gmail
all
right
the
now. Let's open Gmail.
all the shit he was doing to his sister. Like there's ain't no
Right.
fucking
Like
way
this
he's
is
not in there,
Epstein 101. Like
right?
Let's take a look.
Which by the way,
like
Gmail.
he still has not gotten any like any trouble, any legal shit about his sister. Like, and if you guys don't
right.
know, y'all should look into what the fuck his sister was saying about him. And
Oh
a
no,
lot of
no.
that
Oh,
shit
I
is
we've
I,
already,
I
yeah.
verifiable.
know. We already know. Yeah, it's
Like, it
it's
is
it was
crazy.
fuck this nigga beforehand, but it's fuck this nigga till it's backwards now. Like this,
Yeah,
like I don't understand. Like this is how you know that we've hit a point where like beyond return to like American sensibility and all this other shit. Because back in my day, when somebody was accused to being a pedophile or like doing bad things to their own sibling, they would at least step down from a company,
right.
right? They wouldn't be the face of the company anymore because we would care about shareholders. That's why I hate capitalism, because the rules change depending on who it is and for whatever reason.
And
Because that's like I so was one of those people who were disillusioned with when Elon Musk took over Twitter, and I wasn't thinking that it wasn't going to be bad. I knew it was going to be bad, and I'm on Twitter every day. But I thought that the shareholders were going to be like, "Hey, you're fucking all of this shit up. You're fucking up our bag, so we got to get you out." Shareholders don't matter anymore, I guess.
But like that, you gotta,
So
that kind of brings me back to the Bondi situation, where like I think one of the last comments you heard, I forgot who it was. I don't think it was Crockett, but I forgot who it was. But they were like, yeah, if you actually are serious about actually fighting against pedophiles, you should resign. Like you should just straight up resign. And of course, she's not going
Hmm.
to. In the same way
Right.
that these tech CEOs are not going to resign, even though they're all pedophiles and Nazis and weirdos. Like it, I feel like it's just you hit it perfectly on that. It's like no one's gonna resign. No one has shame. No one gives a fuck anymore.
so on the subject of Sam Altman, um, I'm looking at jmail.world. If anyone's not familiar, it is a reconstruction of Gmail using the Department of Justice's 1 million document drop to reconstruct Jeffrey Epstein's inbox.
Oh, interesting.
I did a search of Sam Altman and there's 5 emails. So FBI Daily News Briefing, DOJ. Let's see, that's not right. That's in 2024. He was dead by then. Uh
Allegedly.
yeah.
Allegedly,
Let's see.
Oh,
2018 from Joshua Bach. Do you know them? Please not. From Joshua Bach, who is a German cognitive scientist. Except for Ed Boyd, not personally, Sam Altman has signed up as far as I know. And I think this is about preserving himself in cryogenics. So
what the
I
yeah.
hope I
fuck?
Oh
hope
my
it's not the same.
God. There's
I
so
hope it's
much
not the same Sam Altman,
cryogenics.
but you know.
It is. It
Oh
is.
wait,
It's
Joshua
definitely.
Bach was a German cognitive scientist, AI researcher.
Oh, wait. Scoot over. Where was he born?
Oh,
No, no, no. Go back. Go back. Where was he born? East Germany. Okay. Mm, okay.
That's crazy. Well, Jeffrey Epstein was into like the bell curve and all that weird like race science shit.
oh my God, yeah.
Which is, I thought that's so
Oh.
interesting to me because like I feel like his persona while he was alive, his persona was like this like liberal,
Mm-hmm.
like super liberal billionaire, hated Trump
Exactly.
and conservatives. You take a peek under the hood, he's just another one of them.
He's
There's
literally,
fundamentally
yep.
no difference.
There
Fundamentally a
and
very
there
stupid
usually isn't.
guy.
And like the did you hear about the Fortnite stuff, John?
No, we're talking about pedophiles. Don't bring up Fortnite. What is happening?
Oh, baby boy. Um, there is an alleged account that people think has been Jeffrey Epstein, and it's based out of Tel Aviv. And it was like Jeff Ep or something. Like it was like part of his name. And it was literally like it's been active this entire time. And once people figured that out, their account disappeared.
Oh,
So yeah, just search Jeffrey Epstein in Fortnite. You will see a lot of bad stuff. And yeah, and then it's Fortnite, the shit with kids on it. Like I'm this country is literally insane.
oh my God, you're right.
Like when I tell you you are being saved like mentally for not being on social media because like every single day it's like, hey, Jeffrey Epstein was a part of all of it. Every
Yeah.
every aspect he still might be alive and the FBI or some government officials like were like, "Oh yeah, we had a fake Jeffrey Epstein body that we had to put out so like people wouldn't see the real body that we took away."
What?
And exactly. Why would you even admit that you have a fake Jeffrey Epstein body?
I'm telling you
What
everything
is
about the Epstein
happening?
scheme.
What world are we
That's
living
what
in?
I'm saying. Well, this is what I'm
Exactly.
trying to say, right? Is as someone who was formerly involved with the parapolitics community and whatnot.
Conspiracy
What I would
theories.
basically say, what I would basically say is this. Uh, in America they get called conspiracy theories. It gets called parapolitics. In the rest of the world, it's just politics. It's just theories.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm getting at? It's like
Hmm.
I think that a lot of people have been kind of fixated on the salacious aspects of the Epstein scandal. Like they're getting, worked up about, is there a satanic ritual abuse? They're getting worked out on the details of the abuse, which I'm not saying isn't worth harping on. It's kind of missing the forest for the trees, from my opinion, which is that, if you're a socialist, if you're a leftist, you understand that in a class-based society, the upper class has a degree of impunity that they leverage on the lower classes. It should be obvious, right? And of course, I'm not saying that to minimize just the monstrosities that these guys have committed. I'm saying that as like a way to put it all into context, because I've seen people go very crazy ways in trying to understand this. I've seen people kind of delve into anti-Semitism to justify it, which I don't agree with that as an explanation because it doesn't address things properly. Um, I've seen people kind of erase the kind of connections with their favored political party in favor of, attacking enemies of their unfavored political party being involved. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So you have to look at the Epstein, saga with that class oriented lens to really understand it accurately, in my view. Because again, like it will drive you crazy looking at it. It's very bad. I'm not saying that you shouldn't feel your emotions when you read it, but what I am saying is like stay class conscious when you read it. It can drive you insane.
Agreed.
There's no need to fall into a right wing analysis of the Epstein scandals. I don't
I
understand how people
mean,
are still falling for, and I wonder
What
like
is the
to,
right
I
wing framing?
well, the
the
right wing framing is,
idea
Hollywood sickos. The libs are
no,
behind it.
but the idea that it's Jewish people and not Zionists is so fucking
Yeah,
insane. Because the thing is when you really put it and think about it, like someone said this, there are like 30 million Christian Zionists in America, and that's like twice the amount of Jewish people in the world. And
Oh
when
yeah.
we think about Christian Zionism, they literally want to gather all the Jews to put into Israel so the apocalypse can start.
Yep. And then the crazy part is at the end of it, the Jews in Israel, they don't even get into heaven. So
They
like
do not get into heaven.
there's no real camaraderie between the Christian evangelical Zionist and like the Orthodox Jewish person. Like there's no real camaraderie. There's no real you're my comrade, you're my brother, we're religious, we're in this together. It's like no, it's still fuck you. I just
Right.
need you to be in this one spot so my shit can happen.
It's
which is
not
my
like
biggest critique of
Abrahamic
Zion. Wait, wait.
religions together. Like it's I want you to be the thing that sacrifice so I can have my like heaven or like fulfill my religious duty. Like
Right.
that's fucking insane.
It is fundamentally insane. And like this is what we get in 23 and even 24 we were getting like caught in this like web of how do we talk about this because of the way the discourse is kind of being controlled and fraught. But I think we all have the kind of experience that we can speak to this clearly, which is that Zionism as an ideology is fundamentally anti-Semitic. It is fundamentally an ideology that reduces the Jewish community to an object to be used in a struggle.
Hmm.
And it is a struggle that fundamentally undergirds white supremacy. And we've seen the way in which Zionists have turned on any Jewish person who is not in support of the project.
Oh,
In
100
Every
fact,
percent.
single time.
right. So it's like, again, like to equate any criticism of Zionism with anti-Semitism is a rhetorical trick. It is a rhetorical not just tactic, it is a tactic of supporting white supremacy. And I would basically be the first to insist on this. We need to start talking about the fact that if you're going to address any criticism of Zionism as anti-Semitic, then why is it that this crowd has said the most horrible things about Jewish people who have expressed any support for Palestine? You get what I'm saying? So that's my bottom line criticism of Zionism as a position. It's on its face level, it's not even liberatory to Jewish people, the people it claims to be doing this for. What is actually undergird? It undergirds the policy of white supremacy at the end of the day. And if that loses me my job to say that, if that loses me my civil rights to say that, then that's what it takes.
It's just objectively true. Like
I know,
like
I
when
know.
you have when you had the founding of Israel, you had all of these European countries, and like the reason why Israel had to be founded because these European countries post World War II were still like, nah, we don't want Jews over here. Y'all can go over there.
We do
Like,
not like y'all, and we do not
yeah,
want y'all over here. And it's like, you're okay with someone saying that they hate you so much. You, who has been living here, your people have been living here for centuries. They say that they hate you so much. You need to go over there, and you did it? What the
Which
fuck
is
is wrong with you?
which is the
yeah.
thing that gets me about American Zionism. Like we can talk at length about how Trump sucks, but the one thing that really bothered me about Biden era Zionism was his statement that the only safe place in the world for Jews is Israel, which one is a famous
Like,
Zionist talking point. But it's like,
It's
so
like
what? You're saying that Jews aren't safe in Southfield? They're not safe in
that's
West Bloomfield?
they're
dude,
not
that's what I'm
safe
I
saying.
take great
anymore.
offense to that. It was like, as an American, like not to dick ride for America, but it's like, what? So you're saying they're not safe in America? What is
It's like,
why would an
It's like,
American
Doug, you're
president
the
no,
say that?
use
president.
the more
You are the
stationary
president.
means.
Make them feel safe here. Like you're the
Make them
president, dog.
safe. Make them safe. Like what?
And
But Biden's whole thing about like his whole 4 years would be like, someone should do something about this, nigga. You're on Twitter and in the White House. Do something about it real quick.
and that's what I'm trying to get at,
Yeah.
right? Is like this the Zionist project kind of works hand in glove with white supremacy. And you kind of see that where in the way that like as the controversy around Israel has intensified, you see white supremacists trying to like ape the Zionist talking points to like lure people to their side. And then it just aids the propaganda war. So like any critique we're once again coming full circle with all of this, right? um you have to be grounded in a left-wing critique. You have to be grounded in a structural critique. You cannot fall upon old sloganeering. You cannot fall upon liberalism. You certainly cannot rely on right-wing worldviews because they're based in fear-mongering and fucking bigotry of all forms, right? And you need to look at the issue for what it is. So I don't know. I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting frustrated with myself right now. But um we're once again um at an impasse where the tech sector has aided and abetted the right once again and is actively going to be suborned to it. And I think it's on us to speak to a reality that opposes this AI slop for what it is, but also is willing to speak up for how this AI slop is being used in a propaganda war against our own citizenry. How um, the consolidation of tech infrastructure is being used to prop up the right, is being used to prop up uh, a regime of dehumanization and propping up ICE and a host of other activities that are violating people's civil liberties and lives. And if you're not ready to tie those pieces together, you're cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when Snap was getting um when the whole the Snap fiasco. I think I forgot who showed it to me. I think it might have been Mia or someone. But they were showing me like these like crazy fake like AI videos of like black women who are like
Mm-hmm.
saying just the most atrocious things, and it's just the most obvious rage bait material ever.
Yeah,
And like people are just straight up falling for it. Like straight up,
Literally.
like their minds are not like they're just not ready. They're just not ready. Their minds are not prepared for AI or like they just can't. It's terrifying. Like it's crazy. And then I don't know if you guys like I follow AI not because I like AI, but because I am interested by the technology. They just released a new model I think last week.
for ChatGPT
Um
5, and it's
no, no, no,
caused a bit
no,
of an
no, no,
uproar.
no, nope, nope, nope. It's the different one. I forgot
Okay.
what it's called. I should have pulled it up before I even started talking about this. But it essentially allows you to generate essentially like like Hollywood style movies or Hollywood like quality clips. And it's almost indistinguishable from
This
Hollywood.
isn't the
Like
Sora AI stuff, is it?
I think it might be.
Yeah, I mean
Fuck
Sora
Sora
AI has been
AI.
really tricky too, because like I'm starting to follow like people who can teach you how to like break down if a clip is AI or not. But the
Mm-hmm.
problem with Sora is that it's not that it needs to look real enough. Or sorry, it's not that it needs to look real. It just needs to look real enough to sow doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like because I've been reading Ajay Singh Chaudhary's book, Exhausted of the Earth. And I've been really fixated on exhaustion as a kind of force in the political imagination today that's causing a lot of inability to fight back, right? Like people are exhausted not just from like what the extractive nature of capitalism does to the world and to people, but also as a consequence of things like the ban and blitz with media, as a consequence of social media and like AI slop filtering everything. It's not that it needs to be convincing. There just needs to be so much of it to mentally exhaust the viewer that it
Mm-hmm.
sows doubt. And when doubt is sowed, that might be enough to stop action. So I think, the fundamental prescription at the end of the day is correct. Throw your phone against the wall, get a flip phone, and never talk to anybody again. No,
But
in all
listen to
seriousness,
greenhouse gaslighting.
Right.
though, like I think it is up to like, you as the listener really like consider what your role is in relation to technology. Do you need um certain new things? Can you upgrade an old device and preserve it? Do you need to get a smart TV, or are you fine with like a dumb device? Do you need everything hooked up to the cloud, or can you locally host some stuff? Do you need to use AI, or can you just pick up the skill yourself? And of course, like how and where you do it is very contingent on your conditions. But if you're in a position where you can unplug, do it. If you're in a position where you don't need something, either get rid of it or recycle it. If you can upgrade your old tech, do it. And if you have the skills, teach people how to upgrade their devices. Teach people how to use technology to their own benefit. Because if we take the industry at their word, we're stuck. So I think it's the free and open source route of taking things back for yourself is one step in that direction.
I agree.
If there's a
Organized.
prescription.
I feel like I don't think technology itself is the issue, but at the same time, like you have to understand the impacts you personally have, whether it's like just your environmental impacts, whether it's the impacts of people who are just more marginalized than you are. Like these are not like I think the big problem is that the impact that you cause is so far abstracted from like you typing some bullshit in the chat GPT. A
Hmm.
lot of people, a lot of people just cannot connect those two things together. Even like even when I mentioned like your DTE bill going up, with all these data centers being built, it's like a lot of people still can't connect that. I think your prescription is great, but then also I would add to, learn. Like you have to read. Like you
No,
cannot use.
and you're so correct, because like if you've looked at those studies on how AI use affects the brain, it is affecting those parts that allow you to relate information.
Yeah, you gotta crack open a book, man. You gotta read. You got to like learn about this shit. Learn about the impact.
You got to
Um,
struggle.
yeah.
You do have to struggle. Like I keep seeing
You cut
Uh,
out.
yeah, she cut out.
We can't hear you. I think she disconnected. Hold up.
I got to dip pretty soon though. Just letting you know.
Oh,
Hey.
sorry.
No, we can hear you now.
Yeah, my mom called, so my phone automatically muted.
Okay, so you actually got to go, and John's got to dip in a bit. Uh-oh.
No, you're fine. I was just saying that like you're like all of these kids who are in college and high school now are like, I don't understand how you could do this without ChatGPT, and it's like we just had to.
Yeah, we
Like
just did
that
it.
there was no option, and I think you would be able to do it if you were not disillusioned with um, ChatGPT and all of this other stuff. Like students that I work with do not know how to use Microsoft Word. All they know is Google Doc. So when
Even
you
though it's the
give,
same app.
it's the same, like they don't understand. And I'm just like, okay, I get not being taught all of these different things, but you have to be, you guys have to be, you have to understand that not everything is going to come as easy as it did. That's not how things work.
Yeah, you gotta they really are just replacing their brain with AI. Like you have to actually do the work. You can't just. And it's funny because it's hard for me. Like my knee jerk reaction is to be like, oh well, I'm sure people older than us said the same thing about Google and the internet when that was happening. But like it's just not the same because it's not like Google is essentially just like a link aggregator at the end of the day. It's not like it's doing the thinking for us. We still have to sift through those
Right.
links and we still have to do that work. This is an entirely different ballgame. Like this is not a repeated pattern of disruptive technology in the past. It is changing like social dynamics. It is changing like human, psychology. Like it's bigger than just, the internet versus not the internet.
So I think well said, everybody. I'm going to have to do a little editing at the end there. What do we want to title this one? Dookie AI or The Case for Butlerian Jihad?
Let's
Say
call it
no to AI swap.
do terrorism to data centers.
Yes.
That's going to get us on a list. Let's think of this. I'll work on it. All right, John, I know you got a dip, so thank you for joining us. And thank you again, dear listener, for tuning in. We have more content on the way. Unfortunately, we are nowhere close to a path to a consistent release schedule, so stay tuned for the next one. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.